The Business Review brings you top financial news developments, influencing financial markets, international currencies, commodities, global commerce, tourism, and other economic events from around the globe.
Nearly 340 companies from across the world, including over 60 ones from the Fortune Global 500 companies, were displaying their futuristic and frontier technologies and equipment at the third China International Import Expo in East China's Shanghai municipality. The cutting-edge high-tech and innovative equipment displayed by these companies in the Technology and Equipment Zone have left an impression on the expo. While in the intelligent industry and an information technology zone, innovative large-size projects ranging from helicopters to yachts have been put in place on show. A German company, Wirtgen Group, has attended for the first time by displaying its impressive road construction machinery weighing over 50 tons, which pins high hopes on the promising Chinese market. Japanese electronic manufacturer Omron attended for 3 consecutive years. This time, the company is hoped to better meet the needs of clients from the mainland and help local firms further achieve intelligence and smart technologies from Japan. A special zone focusing on environmental protection is also set up at the ongoing expo this year, with a number of brands showcasing the creative ideas of green, eco-friendly, and sustainable production.
The Vice President of the World Bank in charge of East Asia and Pacific Affairs, Victoria Kaukawa, said that the third China International Import Expo provides an important platform for global cooperation, especially when the COVID-19 pandemic continues to have a devastating impact around the world. In an interview with China Central Television, she discussed the significance of the third CIIE and how it helps tap the potential of the Chinese market and promote cooperation among countries around the world. She said that she thinks a platform like that is first about signaling that China is committed to continuing to open up and through that to benefit other countries. She believes that China's development experience is worth learning for other countries, adding that the World Bank will stand ready to continue to work with China and build on their partnership. The third CIIE started on November 5th in East China's Shanghai municipality and ran through November 10th.
German carmaker Porsche is confident in its performance in the Chinese market as China's success in early containment of COVID-19 in the country has enabled a strong recovery. In the third quarter alone, the company sold 60,000 cars in China. In an interview with the global television network, government-based Chinese network, on Tuesday, Jens Paul Faken, CEO of Porsche China, expressed his optimism. He said that he could see a very steep decrease in order intake and in how the car market was doing in the beginning of the year and especially in the first quarter, but starting with the second quarter and especially the third, he said he was looking forward to a fourth quarter where he could see a recovery. Porsche is also investing heavily into the development of both electric racing cars and street cars and has brought its electric models to the 6-day third China International Import Expo, which opened in Shanghai. Put Farken said that Porsche's customers in China are younger in average than in other regions of the world, and the company expects the tendency to continue.
The European Commission forecast that the Eurozone will rebound in 2021 from the unprecedented economic impacts of COVID-19 this year, but the recovery will be smaller than previously expected because of the second wave of infections. In its regular economic forecasts for the 27-nation European Union and the 19 countries sharing the euro currency, the EU executive arm cautioned, however, that uncertainty surrounding the predictions was exceptionally high and that forecasts were calculated under a number of assumptions. EU Economic Commissioner Paolo Gentiloni told a news conference that officials assume some degree of COVID-19 containment measures will remain enforced throughout the forecast horizons. The former Italian finance minister said Germany would weather the storm quite well and return to growth in 2021. He added the pandemic would take a huge toll on public finances, with an aggregated Eurozone budget deficit reaching 8.8% of gross domestic product in 2020. He noted that Belgium, France, Italy and Spain would reach double-digit deficit ratios in 2020.
The Bank of England has increased its already huge bond buying stimulus by a larger than expected £150 billion as it braced for more economic damage from the new coronavirus lockdowns and damage from Brexit as well. On November the 5th, the day England began a 4-week lockdown to curb a second wave of COVID-19, which is killing as many Britons each day as in May, the Bank of England said it was looking into the pros and cons of taking interest rates negative, but gave no update on the process. Governor Andrew Bailey said the Bank of England's forecasts were that the UK economy would not return to pre-pandemic levels until the beginning of 2022 at the earliest. He said the economy was set to shrink by a record 11% in 2020 overall, more than 9.5% it had forecast in March. The Bank of England also cut its estimate for next year's recovery. Britain's economy has been supported by a surge in debt-fueled spending by the government, and the Bank of England is buying up many of those bonds. The Finance Minister Rishi Sunak's emergency spending and tax cuts have saddled Britain with its biggest budget deficit since World War II. As well as COVID, Britain faces the risk of a trade shock when its post-Brexit transition with the EU expires on December the 31st. So far, London and Brussels have failed to strike a new agreement. The BOE's Monetary Policy Committee said trade would suffer even if there is a deal, but Bailey said its forecast factors in a trade deal as it is currently government policy to pursue one.
Chilean President Sebastián Piñera spoke highly of the position of efforts of the Chinese government in promoting the 2030 Agenda for the Sustainable Development when addressing the opening ceremony of the 3rd China International Import Expo via video link. In his speech, Piñera stressed the importance of upholding free trade and multilateralism in the face of the unprecedented challenges brought by the COVID-19 pandemic. He said, "The pandemic has taught us the value of unity and collaboration. In the past 2 years, the principles of free trade and multilateralism have been widely questioned. At the beginning of the pandemic, we saw that some countries were not shutting their borders, but also closing their economies. But I firmly believe that to overcome the health and economic crisis, we need an unprecedented level of cooperation and strong commitment to free trade and multilateralism." The president noted that this year marks the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Chile, and the past 5 decades have witnessed the profound friendship between the two countries. He expressed the gratitude for the China's help to Chile in its fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, adding that despite the impacts of COVID-19, there are many common challenges that require multilateral efforts to address.
This brings us to the end of this episode of the Business Review. We hope to see you again tomorrow with news of stock markets, economic conferences, commodities, currencies, regional and international financial news, and much more.